What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40K universe. Today we are starting back up again by covering your very own fan lore, and today we've got an amazing one to cover. This one was sent to us by Kieran, and it is just an amazing lore. You could just see all the dedication, the hard work, all the thinking and the planning behind his chapter. His chapter being the Azure Covenant. Now this is a fan dex that he sent over to us that literally uses the brand spanking new Primaris Space Marines. So if you guys really enjoy Space Marines, more so Primaris, this will be an amazing video to cover. Again, guys, if you guys want to send us your own fan lore, send it on over to our Facebook page. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with us, and it'll be the easiest way for us to kind of see what fan chapters you guys have sent us. So again, guys, fan chapters are being covered once again, and this one is just so epic, so awesome, that most likely this will be a two-parter. So again, a huge thank you to Kieran for sending us his chapter on the Azure Covenant. Really epic. I mean, I can't really stress it enough. It's amazing. So without further ado, here are 40 facts on the Azure Covenant. The 41st millennium is an age of ignorance and darkness, as well as dangers and secrets. Searching for these are the Azure Covenant, Primarch Guilliman's Primaris Space Marines, who are possessed by the desire to discover the mysteries of this darkest of galaxies. Forged from secret gene seed and tempered in terrible battles, the Azure Covenant know that their lives are forfeit from the moment they join this insular chapter. But what they discover before their deaths may very well change the Imperium forever. Though these Astartes are few, they are mighty, and their sorcery, arms, and commitment to victory may make them heroes of the Imperium. The Azure Covenant is formed out of the Primaris Marines of the Ultima founding, and the unique nature of this covenant means that they stand apart from their transhuman comrades. This psychically talented chapter used their warp abilities to tear apart the enemies of the Emperor. No one is sure where these incredible abilities come from. Even their founder, Magos Dominus Belisarius Call, claims to have forgotten their true origins. However, this covenant does not fight alone. Strange creatures, known as the Prey's Wardens, monitor them, bringing them Mechanicum weapons to fight alongside the Space Marines. Very little is known for sure about the origins of the Azure Covenant, and some even claim that those stories could very well be a mixture of falsehood. Officially, the Azure Covenant was founded during the early years of Roboute Guilliman's Indomitus Crusade, as the Empyrean storm of the Great Rift split the galaxy in two, severing the Imperium. The Primarch of the Ultramarines set out to bring hope back into this darkness of pure and utter chaos. With him, he took tens of thousands of Space Marines, awoken from their gene forges, known as the Primaris. The Crusade had been battling through the galaxy for almost a quarter century before it came upon the Germanian system within the Segmentum Solar. In one of these rare meetings between the Primarch and the Tech Magos Belisarius Call, the Ark ship Zar Caesitor and the Macrag's Honor rendezvoused above the world of Germania Dio. Together, the two battled a great chaotic host, the unnumbered sons of the Primarch fighting alongside Call's Skitari legions to free this planet from the renegade Bloody Howlers. These heretic Astartes were a fractured remnant of the once loyal Agent Avengers chapter. Guilliman's legions cut down these traitors and their damned allies, reclaiming this planet for the Imperium. Upon landing on the planet, Guilliman and Call revealed to the world of Germania Dio that they had an isolated gene lab where new Primaris Marines were being developed over the millennia. The two mighty warriors spoke for quite some time. However, Guilliman ended up storming out of the conclave in a fury. The Lord Protector did not speak to the Mago Call for quite many days, until, finally, he left. The last message that Guilliman gave Call before leaving was simple. This time, but never again. Control them, or they will be put to the sword. This is my promise. The Mago subsequently then spent months with his menials awakening the Primaris Marines from this planet and creating them into the Azure Covenant. They were told that they were successors to the Great Vulcan and that they owed their lineage to the brave warriors of this legion. Their lack of darkened skin was explained as being born far away from the radiation-blasted Nocturne, and that their new equipment precluded the use of any of their fabled artificial skills. Unfortunately, this was only the beginning of the lies that were being weaved into the lore of this chapter. From the Imperium's perspective, there was one more detail which troubles many more of the Puritan ideologies amongst both the Imperium and the Inquisition. Call's stabilization of the Primaris gene seed has allowed the implantation within female aspirants. This unsanctioned experiment, justified in terms of doubling the number of potential initiates, and which has been widely successful, it allowed the Covenant to replace its battle losses far faster and with a higher success rate than other single-gendered chapters. The Azure Covenant's remarkably high casualty rate would have severely weakened any other Space Marine unit, but the Covenant stays at battle strength with relative ease, due to its wider recruitment pool. They had found aspirants suitable to be Marines at more than twice the ratio of other chapters. While this chapter isn't really blessed with any particular skill in Artifice beyond the normal transhuman skills, they are very much blessed with psychic abilities. The Covenant has more psychers and a larger librarium than any other chapter. So abundant are these librarians that some say that it is the gene seed itself which helps their psychic abilities to develop. Some others theorize that it is the unrestricted research that the Covenant allows into matters of the warp, which then the mutation of their neophytes helps them become full-fledged psychers. To any outsider looking in, this is very, very strange, and it does lead to suspect that it is a very dark truth behind this legion. I mean, after all, there was only one ancient Astartes legion famous for its psychers, and it was not the Salamanders. The organization of this Covenant is as unique as its gene seed. This division of forces was first devised by the original chapter regent, Magos Dominus Call, and this force was organized to be based on the Salamander's 7 great companies. However, it bears very little relationship to their alleged forebearers. The Azure Covenant is divided into 9 Atheniums, each commanded by the dual lexicon of a captain and a librarius epistolary. This unified command structure is then supported by more conventional elements, such as the Apothecarian and the Armory commanded by Tech Marines. Now, each Athenium has a different focus. For example, the first Athenium is the Veteran Formation, where those who have long experienced battles have graduated into their time from other Atheniums. For example, this formation is mostly composed of those surviving Primaris from the first Awoken ones from Call and Gilliman. The 2nd to 5th Atheniums are battle line companies, each a mix of intercessors, hellblasters, and reavers. The 6th, 7th, and 8th Atheniums are made up of fast attack elements of the chapter, consisting of squads of 9 interceptors. Each Athenium is 9 squads strong for a total combat strength of 81 interceptors, and they are known as the Terrorborn, as they focus on raiding tactics. It is also important to point out that the 7th Athenium is damned, for they have had their minds scourged and lobotomized by the Prey's discipline. Now, this is normally the smallest company, and its complement is dependent on those who have experienced the brutality of the Prey's recomposition process. While many of those who have suffered through this were once psychers of Librarius, by the time they reach the damned 7th, they are fit for nothing more than intercessor line squads, led by an officer experienced in leading these damned warriors into battle. This is when they begin to fight in a robotic manner, and they are often deployed into positions that any other Astartes would deem suicidal. Surprisingly though, the damned 7th has a 100% casualty rate. Very few survive more than a half dozen battles. And finally, the 9th Athenium is made up of recruits and training overseers. Men and women taken from the great recruiting fairs across Germania are tested for their skills and talents, and those who demonstrate that the mind and body is of powerful descent, then they are ready to become neophytes and begin their transformation into Space Marines. And now that we know a little bit about the origins and the composition of this chapter, I will end part 1. We still have part 2 to check out tomorrow. I'm going to cover more of their forces and the psychic abilities of this awesome Primaris chapter. So again, guys, let me know what you guys think of this awesome fan chapter. In my opinion, it's pretty damn cool. This is the first time I've heard of a fan Space Marine chapter that has to do with Primaris. So again, guys, let him know what you guys think of this awesome chapter. Also, don't be surprised if I start putting out a giveaway later this week. Wink wink, nudge nudge, there's a giveaway coming. Probably on Friday or Saturday, so keep your eyes peeled for that, guys. And also just stay tuned for more epic 40k content. If you don't know already, we are putting out 40k videos every 12 hours. In our time, which is I guess Eastern time, it's at midnight and then at noon, so check us out. Of course, you guys already know that, but just letting you know just in case. As always, this is the Sound Alchemist, and I am part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys tomorrow.